All right, let's jump right into a book that has, truly inspired millions of people. Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist. Now, on the surface, it's a pretty simple fable, but it's got this incredibly profound message about following your dreams. And really, it all kicks off with one single powerful idea.
This quote right here is basically the beating heart of the entire story. What it's really saying is that if you have the courage to go after what you truly want, the entire world will actually conspire to help you get there. It's such a powerful thought, right? And this whole idea is wrapped up in a term the book uses all the time, your personal legend. So, what exactly is a personal legend? Well, think of it as your true calling, your destiny. It's that dream you've probably had since you were a kid. And the book basically argues that our number one job in life is to go after that dream. And that brings us to our hero, a young shepherd who's about to face that exact choice. Is he brave enough to chase his?
All right, so where does this epic journey kick off? You might think it starts with some powerful king or a famous warrior, but no. It all begins with a super humble shepherd and a dream that he just can't ignore.
So this is Santiago. He's a shepherd over in Spain. And honestly, he loves his life. He's got his freedom, his flock. He's totally content. But there's this thing, this dream he keeps having, over and over again. It's about a hidden treasure buried all the way over at the Egyptian pyramids. And this dream, it's like this little whisper that just won't go away, completely shaking up his otherwise peaceful life. Just as Santiago is wrestling with what to do about this dream, he meets this mysterious old king named Melchizedek. And this king, he does something incredible. He doesn't just say, hey, you should follow your dream. No. He tells Santiago that it is his duty, his whole reason for being here, to go after it. And that, right there, is the final push Santiago needs. He sells his flock and takes off for Africa.
So Santiago does it. He takes this massive leap of faith, sells everything he owns, and heads to a brand new continent. But that whole universe conspiring to help you thing, yeah, it doesn't quite start off like you'd expect.
And bam! Here comes the immediate gut punch of reality. He gets to Tangier, Morocco, all excited, and on day one, he gets robbed. Every single piece of money he has is gone. So now he's stranded, totally alone, can't even speak the language. His dream, it looks like it's completely dead in the water.
But here's the thing about Santiago. He doesn't just give up. He ends up getting a job working for a crystal merchant. And this is really interesting. The merchant, his boss, tells him that he once had a dream too, a pilgrimage to Mecca. But he never went because he was just too afraid of change. And working there, Santiago learns maybe one of the most important lessons in the whole book. It's not usually the dream itself that's too hard. It's the fear of failing that stops most of us from even trying.
And I want you to get this. This wasn't just a matter of weeks. He worked in that shop for a whole year. Sure, he made his money back, but what he really gained was something way more valuable, the resolve to keep going. He had a choice, go home safe or keep chasing his personal legend. And he chose the legend.
Okay, so with his pockets full again and his spirit renewed, Santiago joins a caravan that's heading across the massive Sahara Desert. And this next part of the journey, well, it's going to change everything for him. You have to imagine, out there in the total silence of the desert, Santiago's way of learning starts to shift. He meets this Englishman who's obsessed with alchemy, so he learns a bit about that. But his real teacher is the desert. He starts to pick up on what the book calls the universal language. It's not about words, it's about intuition, about reading signs and omens in nature. Basically, he's learning how to listen to what the universe is trying to tell him.
And of course, no great quest is complete without love, right? So at this beautiful oasis, he meets a woman named Fatima, and boom, he's instantly in love. For a minute there, he thinks, you know what? I'll just stay here with her and give up the treasure. But Fatima, she's amazing. She teaches him one of the most beautiful lessons in the story, that real love doesn't get in the way of your dreams. It helps you achieve them.
So then we get to this huge, pivotal moment. Santiago is really leaning into this intuition thing now. He sees two hawks fighting in the sky, reads it as an omen, and warns the oasis leaders that an attack is coming. And because of him, they save the entire community. This incredible act of courage, this proof that he can speak the universal language, it gets him noticed by the one person he needs to meet next, the mysterious and powerful alchemist. Okay, and this is where things get really interesting. The alchemist sees something special in Santiago and agrees to guide him the rest of the way. But it's not going to be easy. He is going to put Santiago through the absolute ultimate test of his faith, his courage, and everything he's learned so far. So, the alchemist starts teaching him about this amazing concept called the soul of the world. The big idea here is that everything in creation, the desert, the wind, the sun, you, me, it's all connected. It's all part of one single living entity. And if you can tap into that, you can basically speak the language of the universe itself.
Are you starting to see a pattern here? Because the alchemist brings up that same lesson from the crystal merchant, but now it has so much more power behind it. He tells Santiago point blank that there is only one thing that makes a dream impossible: the fear of failure. And he isn't just talking. He's about to make Santiago face that fear in the most intense way imaginable.
So how does he do that? Well, they get captured by this terrifying warlord, and to save their lives, the alchemist just casually tells the warlord, "Oh yeah, this kid, he can turn himself into the wind." I mean, can you imagine? Faced with this literally impossible task, Santiago has to use everything he has learned. He speaks to the desert, he speaks to the wind, he even speaks to the sun. And in the end, by connecting directly with the soul of the world, he actually does it. He has truly, finally mastered his fear.
So after passing this insane test, Santiago finally makes it to the pyramids. He's at the finish line, right? The end of his physical journey. But the story has one more incredible, kind of mind-bending twist waiting for him.
And this timeline really lays out the incredible circular path of his whole quest. Think about it. He travels from Spain all the way across Africa, enduring all these trials, only to learn that the treasure was waiting for him right back where he started. So the big question is, why? Why the journey?
Well, here's the amazing ironic twist. While he's digging at the base of the pyramids, these robbers show up and beat him. And as they're leaving, one of them laughs at him and says, "You know, I had a stupid dream once too, about a treasure buried in a ruined church in Spain." And he describes the exact spot where Santiago's journey began. The final piece of the puzzle comes from a guy who was too cynical to follow his own dream. It's incredible. So, Santiago goes back to Spain, digs under the sycamore tree, and yep, there's a chest full of gold and jewels. But, and this is the whole point of the book, that gold is not the real treasure. The real treasure was the journey itself. It was the wisdom he gained, the love he found with Fatima, the understanding of himself, and just the incredible experience of actually chasing down his personal legend.
And that, right there, is why this story connects with so many people. It's all about these huge, universal ideas: self-discovery, destiny, faith, love. It's just this powerful reminder that, it's not always about the destination, it's about who you become on the way there. That's where the real transformation happens, when you're brave enough to chase what you're meant to do. So he's got the gold, he's completed his spiritual quest, and the book ends with just one simple, perfect line. At this point, Santiago is a complete person. He's found both his material and spiritual wealth. And now, he's heading back to the desert to be with his other treasure, Fatima. So, in the end, the story of Santiago is finished. But the book leaves us with one last really important question. It kind of turns the spotlight back on us, the readers. It's asking you to think about your own life, to listen to your own heart, and to ask yourself, what is my personal legend?